Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lip Medallion. It's your boy, the Lip Medallion, right? And here's Rowdy with his trusty Medallion. He's ready to go. He is absolutely ready to go. So am I. It's the day before, it's Thursday night. Who we playing? We got Army. Army's on deck. What's Army's record? Army's 1-1. Who has Army lost to? Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. Now, if you didn't watch any of the Army ULM game, it's kind of cool what the Warhawks wore as a uniform against Army, because they embraced the P-40 Warhawk, right? So they had the teeth glaring, the eyeballs, that kind of stuff on the helmet. So it's kind of cool looking. It really was. Army was in their traditional uniforms. I don't think they changed theirs except for when they play Navy and they'll come out with some kind of commemorative uniform. So Army is 1-1. Last week they played Delaware State, an HBCU, beat them 57-0. Got a lot of yardage against them. Didn't do so well against Louisiana Monroe. Only had like 250 yards against Louisiana Monroe. I'm going to look that up really quick because, let me see, I want to make sure I give you somewhat factual information. Yeah, let's see, box score. Boom. There it is. Nope. Team stats. Boom. Go right there. Yeah, they only had 279 total yards of offense against Louisiana Monroe. And 298 yards Louisiana Monroe got. We held Texas State to sub 250 yards. Our defense is playing lights out. Now, Army is at a disadvantage because obviously they have loved the triple option, all the misdirection and whatnot. So what has hampered Army, going to hamper Navy, and in the schools that do this, is cut blocking is pretty much illegal across the board. You can no longer cut block at the line of scrimmage either. You can't cut block out in the open space. Even when you know you're a defensive player and there's a guy in front of you, they can't dive at your legs. So that really hurts the triple option, because part of the triple option is diving at the defensive players, the defensive line's legs, right? Cutting them down to where the quarterback can read, giving the ball on the dive play to the fullback, or tucking it and then running the option wide, or possibly backing up and knowing who's open, like maybe the tight end's going on a seam route or something, right? They can't do that anymore. And when that's removed, Army is trying to run a lot of misdirection from what I would call two wing backs, the setback off the end of the line of scrimmage. I watched it. This is the kind of stuff that you can run when you're a superior team or you're even teams. Maybe if you're even teams. I would love to say that this should be, no, I'm going to say it, this should be an easy game for our Roadrunners. The only thing Army has that I see is really good speed at some of their skills positions. Really good speed at some of their skill positions, like Texas State. But once we figured that out, we held Texas State to sub 250 yards and forced them to be very accurate with their throws, which they weren't. So, and that's a 6'7" quarterback who can see over everything, right? Army's quarterback's not 6'7". He's your average kid. They play hard. So I don't see a lot in this game other than execution from the Roadrunners. We have to push them off the line of scrimmage. We have to establish the run game early, and we have to just go down the field on them. Chug-a-lugga, chug-a-lugga, chug-a-lugga. 5, 10, 7, 5, 4, like that, right? We don't need to find ourselves chasing points against a team that is going to be excellent at running the clock, right? So if I put this up here, they had the ball 35 minutes of the game against Louisiana Monroe. 35 minutes of the game. That's huge. If we win the toss, I wouldn't defer. I would absolutely take the ball and go down the field. Even if you score a field goal, you are going to put the other team behind the clock, right? The way the new clock rules are running, it's like the NFL, except in college, they have these really weird timeouts, TV timeouts, that help stop the game. But you put the other team behind the clock. You go up early. It's what we did to Texas State. We got a little sloppy and let them come back in the game late in the second quarter. But Army doesn't have that ability. Or so we think. That's the one thing that scares me is last year. If you go back and you look at my video last year where I was cover the guy coming out of the backfield going straight up the field. It was a slot back, tight end, whatever, wherever he was lined up. He just released and went right by us till we kind of figured out that that's what they did. And they got up on us 14. Luckily, rules last year allowed us to come back. Really did. Really did. We don't have those rules anymore. Not till the final 2 minutes of the game. Don't have those rules anymore. So you're not going to come back from 14, 17, 21. Those days are over in college football. Because these rules, timing rules, those days are over. Right? Because if they do get a stoppage of play, it's not just for 5 seconds, right? To move the chains. They're going to stop it for a TV timeout. Well, guess what? You're charging hard as an offense. You got that defense on their heels. Here comes a TV timeout because a player lays down. Guess what? They change players. But unlike the NFL, there are 85 kids that are on scholarship. The NFL only has 53, which means, okay, so say a defensive back fakes an injury, feigns an injury, or might have a small cramp. They go to a TV timeout in the NFL, you're really bringing in third string. You're not bringing in another first string that just isn't starting or just isn't on the field, right? You're literally bringing in fresh legs in college that has played a lot of downs. Look at player participation. There's a lot of kids. Look at the way we rotate our defensive line. I mean, there's times all 3 guys come out and 3 new guys go in. I've seen that. There's one thing about this defensive staff. I've got to give them credit. We may have given up points last year. We may have given up points the year before. But if there's one thing that this staff is ready for, that's putting supposedly the right kids in at the right time. They're ready. Our kids are well coached. Our kids are well coached. I don't think people really understand that enough of how just the procedure of getting in and out, of being ready for the next play. Our kids are well coached. Whether they make the stop, whether they catch the ball, whether we score a touchdown, put the ball through the uprights, right? That's a different story. That's execution, right? And that's sometimes just being either better or not as good as the other team. Take Texas. Take Houston. It was execution through two interceptions. Doomed us, right? Texas, we lost five injuries. Game, suddenly the better talent in Bijan Robinson took over, right? Wasn't that our kids weren't close to tackling him in the backfield? Just a better player was on the field at that time, right? And this is not any kind of slight on the players in that game. You are who you are. The only thing you can do is give perfect execution, as Coach Traylor said. And we have to do that against Army. We have to do that against Army. Let's do that against Army the first quarter. Let's get up 14. And then let's just start drinking. No, well, not the kids. You and I, as fans, let's start breaking out the margaritas. Let's start grabbing the Modelo's. let's go, man. Let's start having fun. Let's have a blast doing it. Now I want to let's switch off football because I really think that outside of worrying about whether Frank's healthy, we should be able to trot out Eddie Lee and the second, third string, whoever it is on the depth chart, not even play Frank, and we should be able to win this game easily. I honestly believe that. Watching what I've seen, and I believed that in the past, but I've been burned for believing that because we hadn't beaten Army until last year, and it took us to go into overtime to beat them, and it was a jump ball. Now, guess what we did? Best player, one-on-one, throw it up. We're winning that game now, right? And they did it, and they executed, right? JT Clark played one game, one play last week, or had one catch. I don't know how many plays he played, but he had one catch. So they may use him. They may not. I personally wouldn't. I don't think we need Frank or JT to win this game. We do need Kavorian, and we do need those other running backs. Don't get me wrong. We need our offensive line. This ain't like, oh, we can just put in our third string and get after them. I'm talking certain positions. I think we're fine if certain players just sat out. Or better yet, Frank, go out there, play a half, and then get him out of the game. Give our backup meaningful snaps. Meaningful. Let him play an entire half. Right? Let's see that. Just make sure he doesn't make mistakes. Don't give him plays that he can make a mistake on. Right? Don't have him sitting in the pocket waiting to throw it deep. Give him Oscar Cardenas 7 yards over the middle. Give him our tight ends over the middle. They're open all the time. Hint, they're open all the time. Now, let's talk about just other shenanigans, other stuff. First and foremost, we're going to have our band in the stadium. I'd love to hear our band play. Our DJ playing while our team's at the line of scrimmage is just killing me. It's crushing me. I'm gonna make sure I video it and put it in here. I'm gonna just create that video. It's all it's gonna be. Watching our guys in formation at the line, overlooking the defense while he's playing music. If he's doing it, I'm gonna video that, right? But I'd love to hear our band play. More importantly, I'd love to hear our band trigger the entire Army fan base again. I would love to see it. Hey, people are going to hate us no matter what, so you might as well give them a reason. And I'd love it to be Sosa. Sosa, just play. When they're playing their alma mater, just play. Their alma mater isn't ours. If they choose to respect ours, that's good for them. But their alma mater isn't mine. I have some total of 2 alma maters. UTSA alma mater and the Star Spangled Banner. Those are my alma maters. I know it might seem like I hate on Army or I hate on Navy. No. That's their school alma mater. I don't care what they're doing after school because here's why. There are plenty of kids that get out of college that go into the Army out of every university. Texas A&M. But do we not play while they're playing their alma mater? Do we honor theirs? If not, why not? Remember, this is a football game, and that's all it is. It's just a football game to have fun. Let's remember and let those kids have fun. Now, with that being said, we shouldn't play over their alma mater. If we should know. By now, we know, right? We didn't know. I didn't know. Did you know that Army always respects the opposing team's alma mater? I genuinely thought it was only because it was Army, Navy. So then I figured they did it whenever they played Air Force. You know, combatants on the field, but teammates in real life, right? Afterlife, right? Because every one of them are going in the military, right? They all serve their purpose and they all support each other. Oh, they give each other the biggest rash of garbage, but I guarantee you there's not a single time when there's a Marine on the ground, if an Air Force is flying over, an A-10 Warthog or an F-16 providing ground support, that they're going, oh, I hate those those flyboys, right? And I guarantee you when the U.S. Army's there and they're getting bombardment from the Navy, I guarantee they don't go, those midshipmen, I hate those guys, right? So I get it, right? Anyway, that's my rant about that. Those two things, man. That's it. That's okay. Tell me what you think. Tell me, do you think we're going a little overboard with this whole alma mater thing? I got my alma mater. That's what I care about. I'm not staying and respecting theirs. I'm leaving. When it's over, I'm leaving the stadium. Just what I'm doing. Well, actually, I'm not leaving the stadium. I'm standing there and I'm waiting for the lots to clear out a little bit. But I'll watch them, but I'm not going to be there and go, I got to stand for them. No, I don't. Just all I'm saying. All right. So if you were to ask me, what do you think the score is going to be? I'm telling you, we will probably get about 400 yards of offense, right? Because we're not playing as good of a defense as we played against Texas State. Texas State defense was a lot better than people thought, right? They didn't just catch Baylor by off guard. They caught Baylor completely. It wasn't a surprise. Oh, I got a Whopper here and I can't, I brought 2-pound test line and, I got an 8-pound bass that just took my food with it, right? My bait with it. No. This was straight up. They came in, they came on shore. They grabbed that Baylor fisherman, brought him down, dragged him in the bottom. Now they're feeding on him, right? They were guaranteed bigger, stronger, faster, and probably better coached. Who knows? Dave Aranda might be living on his fame of having Joe Burrow, right? A generational talent, thrower like Joe Burrow, generational wide receivers all on the same team, make up for a lot of mistakes your defense does. That's all I'm going to say, right? G.J. Kinney, he coached well against us. Don't be surprised if Traylor moves on to, say, Texas A&M. Think about what I'm saying. That maybe he takes Kinney with him. But if he doesn't, don't be surprised if Kinney's our next guy. Because will Texas State pay him $2.5 million to keep him? We've already proven we can afford $2. That would be a big pay raise for him, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he stays. Maybe he does. I don't know. It'll all depend on, Traylor and Kinney talking about certain things. I'm not going to go into super duper detail, but trust me, what you read on Twitter from some of the people, it isn't made up by these individuals. I know these individuals. These aren't individuals that just make up stuff to say, assert their influence, right? No. Trust me on this. But it's okay. See you in the Dome tomorrow night. Game's going to be on TV, so if you're in the Dome, be ready for those TV timeouts anytime a player goes down. 25% less football, same amount of time watching the game. That's not a good recipe. It's not a good recipe for anybody. And in fact, I will say this. Which do you think is hardest on your body? Continual movement or stop and start? Full gas for 7 minutes and then a 4-minute just stop, staying around. What can you do? Which is hardest? You know the answer. right? So anyway, road runners, I will see you guys in the stadium tomorrow. I am heading to San Antonio tonight. It is finally got some rain here in Houston. Not enough, but some. Hopefully San Antonio has cooled off a little bit. Remember, it's orange out. I hope to remember to be in orange. Who knows? I'll be too excited. I might forget. Peace out. Birds up.